What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited to talk about a recent development that has just happened for the Bancor team. I'm super excited to share it with you guys. So basically what is happening is that the Bancor team has announced that they are ready to move on and take on the next step to develop the network and develop mass adoption of the Bancor protocol. And the way to do it, they feel like going forward, is to take a huge step forward and actually distribute their original Ethereum reserves to the Bancor community, to all of the BNT token holders. So just to add a little bit of context, when the BNT was first created at ICO, it was created with Ethereum in its reserves. Now there was a reason for that. The BNT token is supposed to be a hub token that you can use to connect to other tokens. So basically you put the BNT token in a relay or liquid token, and now because it has those reserves of BNT, it can trade with all of the other tokens inside of the BNT network because they all share a common reserve. This is called the hub token, and this is the utility of the Bancor network token, and it still is today. But being that the Bancor network token had no network effect because it was a brand new project, it wasn't a very liquid token. So what the team decided to do, since they were doing an ICO and they were building on top of Ethereum, and at the time Ethereum had by far the most applications out there, they decided to give the Bancor network token a large reserve of Ethereum. And what that did is it allowed the Bancor network token to be a lot more liquid to all of the other Ethereum tokens because Ethereum was already trading in the billions of dollars every single day. In trading volume, it was much more liquid. So at the time, it made perfect sense. And it's really the driving factor that has got us to this point so far, where now we have actually done $2 billion in conversions up to this point since ICO, which is incredible if you think about it, because it's the Bancor trading algorithm is completely novel. It's completely unlike anything else that exists in the space. What the team wants to do is they basically feel that the network is at a level of maturity and has at least a little bit of network effect going at this point to now eliminate those Ethereum reserves. And what they're going to do is they're going to take out those Ethereum reserves and they're going to distribute it to all of the BNT token holders. So if you own Bancor network tokens, you will then be getting an airdrop of more tokens. Now this makes a lot of sense because now that we have Bancor X and the BNT is no longer just Ethereum, it is cross-chain, it is also EOS, and it plans to go to other blockchains in the future. And like I said, it's already gaining its network effect. There's no real reason to have those Ethereum reserves anymore. And I think this makes a lot of sense at the time they're doing it to push forward with this. And what I think this is going to do is two main things, because they're going to take the reserves, they're going to distribute it to the Bancor network token holders, and they're also going to change the structure of the BNT token a little bit, because before the BNT token worked on a dynamic supply. So basically what it was is you would feed tokens into the reserves and the price would get calculated based on that token and would mint more BNT tokens. So the supply was always, it was dynamic, it was always growing. Well, now they've changed that and they've actually given the BNT token a fixed supply with a community voted inflation. So now it's going to be it's going to be similar to kind of how like EOS works, where the community based on your Bancor network tokens is going to be able to vote on what level of inflation they would like the Bancor network token to have. And the inflation is going to be used to fund development, adoption, grants, things that can help make mainstream the Bancor protocol, as well as to deepen some of the liquidity pockets in some of the relays and some of the long tail tokens. Now you will have this level of inflation that we can use to actually make certain liquidity pockets deeper, which is a very good thing. But one thing I want to note is I do think, ever since the inception, the BNT token has continued to kind of lose value. At this point, the whole market's down, so it's not just the BNT token, but the BNT token hasn't functioned well in terms of price. But like I talked about in my last video with the PEG network, they're coming out with the Bancor USD, the BUSD token, which is going to be a Bancor token that is pegged to the dollar. And what's so critical about that is you're going to be able to use that inside of the Bancor network, that Bancor dollar token, and it's going to function exactly like a BNT, meaning it's going to work as the hub token that connects the whole network. So you're going to be able to use that token and then fund your relays and fund your liquidity. Now what that does is it allows basically you to become a liquidity provider without having to take on unnecessary risk and without having to have a volatile asset that you're unsure of. And at the same time, it allows the BNT believers, the people who believe that the project will continue to grow and will continue to do good things, now they can hold the token and they can have the ability to see that asset appreciate. And it's going to be a lot more sexy to institutional investors because they can invest in they have a dollar cryptocurrency, but it's still a dollar. Like, they don't have to worry about volatility. It's something they can do and become a liquidity provider and earn a percentage of all of the conversions that go through the network. Not all of the network guys, but yeah, like I was saying, what it's going to allow is people to get into the network who want to become liquidity providers but don't want to hold a volatile asset, but they do want to earn and get a percentage of the token conversions that are going through the network. Well, now they can do that without any volatile risk of holding a cryptocurrency. They can participate without any volatility. This is a mainstream product. That is a mainstream financial instrument. The only thing it's missing is mainstream regulation. Like, that's it. Like, being able to hold a dollar and earn, you're going to easily be able to outpace so many financial instruments in this way. So the attention that I believe that the Bancor network is about to get will truly be massive, because this will be on every news network before we know it. By the end, to be honestly, like, it wouldn't surprise me by the next couple months that we're starting to see like all the major news networks talk about the Bancor smart contract liquidity network, because now with the fact that it has EOS and it has a feeless network and it can run at high speeds, this is something that you can really use as a financial instrument, just point blank period. It's a killer application to me. It's a killer application, and for sure it's like good, it's ready to go. It's not even, it's a working product. It's been working for 2 years. Minor things when it came to the Ethereum network, when it came to front running and stuff like that, because of the way the Ethereum network is set up and gas costs, there was ways to kind of game the system a little bit. But when it comes to EOS, it's completely feeless and there's no way to game the system, and it works perfectly. To me, like I said, it's a killer application. So going back to the token price, BNT token is going to be a fixed supply with a community voted inflation. BNT token right now has close to 70 million tokens in existence. And then, you got to think, once they do the airdrop, more tokens are going to be introduced. But realistically, I can't see the amount of tokens going past 100 million. And 100 million is the number that Ethereum is at. In Ethereum, when I first got in the space, and this is how I always like to just compare things, was at $1 billion market cap. And at $1 billion market cap, at around $100 million or 100 million circulating supply, valued the Ethereum token at $10. At just $1 billion. What the Bancor liquidity network has can easily, and I'm talking about quick, before people even realize what's going on, can make it to several $billions. Like, and that would value the BNT token at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, who knows? Like, it could just continue to go up. And then you're going to have like a minor inflation, but that's voted on by the community. Because it's going to start out at a 0% inflation. And then whatever we decide as a community we want to set the inflation as, well, then we can go forward at that point. So I think this is extremely bullish for BNT token holders, and you should, this is not financial advice, but I will be buying Bancor network tokens every paycheck. I mean, I have to switch my strategy up at this point because as new information comes in, I just gotta adapt. I gotta, go where I see fit. Another thing I want to talk about is IL Herzog. IL Herzog just started his own YouTube channel. So he's a content creator now. He's going to be making videos. And I watched his first video today. He did a little introduction video. It was sweet. I'm excited. Honestly, he's one of my favorite speakers in the space. He really the whole team, Guy, Galia, Ayal, like they all do a really good job of like explaining complex things and breaking it down to like the most understandable, digestible format. And that's what I really like about them, and that's what kind of drew me to them in the beginning. And I realized, like, what the vision was. Like, they did a really good job of conveying what the vision was, and I got it pretty early on, and I was hooked from that point to Bancor. So now he's going to be a content creator, and they actually just did a website called creator.eco. It's brand new, and he's going to be the first person to use the platform. And what the platform is basically going to allow you to do is, for digital content creators, it's going to allow you to create your own token and pretty much control your own economy. Boom, like huge, you know what I mean? Huge. And of course, like, after all this good news that I've been getting all day, like my day's just been sweet, I had to find out, of course, U.S. citizens can't use it. Unfortunately, I mean, that sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna complain too much about it. I'm gonna have to watch from the sidelines, but I am very excited about the development, and I hope that sometime soon U.S. citizens will be able to participate inside that ecosystem, because I would love to be able to create my own crypto and for the community, and be able to watch it grow and do different things to incentivize certain stuff. And just the idea that you could invest in a person, like, that's completely new. You know what I mean? The fact that you can invest in a person, like, a lot of people invest in people already, like, if you think about it, but like, you can really invest in a person. Like, when people invest in people, they usually invest in like Dan Larimer or Vitalik Buterin, and they don't know half the stuff these guys are talking about, but they know that they're smart people, so they say, you know what, my money is probably better off with them than myself. So a lot of people do bet on people, but still you're adding so much risk, because blockchains and all that stuff is complex and anything can happen. Smarts is not everything when it comes to that. Nobody knows everything. But just to literally bet on a person, like, to convey an idea. And Al Herzog, I'm telling you, is one of the best. Like I would definitely be buying those IL tokens. So yeah, that's sweet. That's super sweet. What else? There was so much today. Trying not to leave anything out. I think that's about it, guys. I'm super excited about all the opportunities that are going to be coming our way in the Bancor community, as well as, all of the communities, really, because this affects everybody. I really think we're at the start of a bull run now, and it's so exciting that all of this crazy good news is all coming out at once. 1.8 is coming out in literally 2 weeks, and everything is about to really take off. Like, everything is really at the point now where we're not really waiting on anything. It's gonna come on like a switch. You know what I mean? And it'll literally just be like, whoa. Like, it'll look like 2017 bull run, but it will really be even more massive, because this one was going to be so much more real. Like, during that bull run, the technology was nowhere near the level of maturity that it needed to be to realistically justify any of those prices that we got. It was pure hype and ignorance. But we're at a level now where we can have real decentralized applications, and we can have them back to back to back, and we can put so many things on the EOS blockchain right now. It's ridiculous. Like, the EOS blockchain scales. It's scalable, and with the help of liquid apps, like, there's so many industries that are already running successful business models that we can put on the blockchain. I've said it before, guys. When it comes to EOS, when it comes to blockchain, we really don't need to reinvent the wheel. We really don't need to reinvent the wheel. I'm super excited about what Bancor is doing, simply because I do think it is a killer application that's ready to go, and is only going to grow as more people want to create their own tokens. It's only going to drive more utility for Bancor Network Token, and Bancor Network Token can realistically infinitely go up. Like, there's really no limit to how high it can go. And like I said, I see this as an institutional, like, the people with the big money are gonna want to get in on this soon. And once they realize that they're not gonna be able to control the prices like they are accustomed to doing, it's gonna create a massive FOMO, and it's going to create a situation where they want some sort of government regulation as quick as possible. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if before Trump leaves office, like, he does a complete 180 on blockchain and just says, you know what, this is the future, because they put pressure on him. Like, these big money guys start saying, hey, you better say something good right now, and you better make sure they pass some regulation. Like, and they start, because these guys in Congress, they're all in the pockets of these lobbies anyway, so they're gonna come to them and say, hey, we want our cut, we're not getting our cut. And believe me, like, they'll pass something. They will pass something if they, once they realize that they can't control it just like they're used to, because it's not based, the price is not based the same way they're accustomed to with the bid-ask system, and they can't use centralized exchanges and all these stupid financial instruments to create a false price. FOMO will be real. All right, that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.